going, my brother? How are you, my bro? Good, yes? Everything
good.
blessed?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Welcome to the Moroccan Social Matter.
Thank you very much. I've been waiting for a very long time, brother.
I've been looking forward to actually having you on the podcast as well.
I feel like you're putting me on the waiting list. 12th Street kind of job.
You know when he made that meme when he made that, that
especially the part of.
When I was actually starting my job in the morning, that feeling of knowing that you have to call so many people used to make me feel sick. Was it just me? Was it
all of us? Oh, you know what I had to do every morning is that I wake up at 7 and I had to take that cold shower to put myself in that mindset of, you know, hard working, be optimistic, trying to make some positive calls, trying to get some warm leads and book some meetings. Like,
you know, because I have done so many sales before, even in the UK as well. I know it's a hypocritical job.
It is.
It's something that gets you immersed in hypocrisy. Every day you dip in your hand in hypocrisy. Every day.
You know the video that went viral about the Sadio Mane is the best player in the world.
Sadio Mane, yeah.
That was which accents? Which
Liverpool. That's Scouse.
So listen, all of them.
That's my sister's accent.
He's the best player in the world.
I'm just tired of it, man. You know what I mean? Because those are the humble people. In Morocco, what we call شعبيين. But you have to understand this sense of humor. If you don't understand this sense of humor, you're not gonna sell him anything.
Yeah.
Even if you speak like the Queen. This is a good spot. Education in Morocco. Crossing over from French to English. English language can be a bridge, or can be the key to escape the bad matrix. Because English can bring that beautiful culture as much as it can bring bad culture from the TikTok dancing and all of that stupidness.
The learning process somehow effective for the upcoming generations. So the lingua franca.
French is not. It's not the language of science anymore.
You know, I heard a very beautiful.
I said French and you smiled, didn't you?
You know why? Because there is a saying which just dropped into my mind that says, "Speak French and you visit only French. Speak English and you visit the world."
A friend of mine, last time I was chatting to him in the UK, and you know, he said to me, he said, if Europe was a house, then England will be the sitting room. And France will be the toilet.
I sense that you're going to say something about.
I was like, brother, don't say that in my country, because you got people that speak French and for those ones that hasn't grasped English just yet, when the shift is over, they're gonna have problems, especially with uni. That's why I was asking you about your students. Are your students embracing English?
Bro, we are even struggling because when you say English, private schools focus on teaching English. Starting from kindergarten. I have a question. You as a government, what have you invested on the staff in order to be able to teach just English as a subject, let alone maths, physics and everything? You are
all these La Mission schools, when let's say 10 years from now, when Morocco cross over, where are they going to stand up?
And you know what, I have
all these French directors that come here and get so much money from the Moroccans.
65, 45, 50s, they want to learn English. I ask them why. They tell me English is
the future.
A future.
Last year we organized a trip to London, and our students actually met with Spanish students that came from Spain for another school trip to England, and they spoke to them in English. Both of them are English students. I don't know if you noticed this, but have you noticed that in Instagram, on social media, you get all these new Moroccans that are teaching English with the American slang language?
Yes.
Don't say ما تبقاش تقول كيف حالك. Say what's up, man.
Yeah. they think
you wanna pick لو بغيت تضرب مع شي واحد we wanna pick a fight. They said, you want a piece of me?
Yeah,
you want a piece of me?
I've watched that, man.
Bro, have you seen those ones?
Listen,
you guys are teaching our people bad language. All right, let me go there. Teaching bad language. You guys need to stop listening to those guys over there. They're gonna you're gonna end up like those criminals in America and in England. You know, it's all I can go and say, guys, don't say how are you. Say Wagwan fam, what are you telling me, cuz? Yeah. Your man's got peas in that cuz, you get me? You know what I mean? It's not the way.
But the thing is, when we say speak English, what's up, man? How is it? Don't say thank you. Instead, say this. Don't say
Yeah,
how are you.
brother.
Instead, say, this is only a 2 seconds conversation with people.
conversation.
We need a solid language. We need.
Can
we
you
need a
imagine
very
speaking like that
high-
on those sales position that we're talking about?
I
You?
don't think in my last 3 seconds.
Brother,
and
the
then
guy's
you
gonna
will
be
hear
like,
the
sorry, man,
beep,
beep, beep.
Like people that really know what English is. And
Yeah.
do not watch those
They don't.
videos. Of course.
But
We
also
teach.
you need to be eloquent. The word that you're looking for is eloquency.
Yeah, it's good.
But to be honest with you, I still feel like certain teachers are not taking pride in their jobs. They don't give 100%.
There
Yeah.
are so many reasons behind why
Salary.
teachers do not. One of which is salary.
Salary.
Police officers to beat you up because you start contesting.
Oh, you're talking about the
CO.
protest and all of that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you cannot give your 100%. On the other hand,
The moment that you accept to take over and you accept the job and you take it over, you're responsible. For
Yes.
example, certain
sure.
teachers, they don't negotiate their salary. There's like 2,000 there, yeah, okay, yes. They're what we call yes man. Get out. Next class.
agree with you.
So
bro.
that's
agree
the
with
issue.
you 100%. I've had some experiences with such people. Like
Salaries,
they
yeah.
accept whatever they offer them.
It's bad.
Whatever they offer them. On the other hand, to give to teachers what they deserve, they give them just a small pie.
A little
That's
fraction.
It. Yes, that's it.
Little
That's
fraction.
take your part, and then you do whatever we ask, but you don't.
They accept
yes,
it, yeah.
They're afraid.
They
They're
accept
afraid, brother, to go and look for
They-
other opportunities elsewhere.
That's not on the agenda. Thank you very much, Steve, for all of your calls. Just another reminder that at 12, bbc.co.uk/question. That's at 1 tomorrow. If you missed any of the show today, you can listen back on Catch Up on Global Player, as ever, where you'll also find all of LBC's shows to catch up on, as well as all of Global's live radio stations. You can download Global Player for free.
Speaking English in Morocco, a bridge from here to there, from Marrakesh to Ramallah, in one language we share.
Anyway, my brother, how are you, my bro?
You feel everything?
Good, yes?
Everything's
Everything
good.
blessed?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
brother.
Welcome to the
Everything's-
Moroccan Social Matter.
Thank you very much. I've been
It's been-
waiting. I've
it's-
been waiting for a very long time, brother.
I've been looking forward to
Yeah.
actually having you on the podcast
I
as well.
feel like you're putting me on the waiting list.
You felt like I'm putting you on the waiting list.
Yes, brother.
I'm not actually. I'm not.
Just
I was
joking
not,
with you.
yes.
You
I was
told me,
actually. I looked at your podcast with your student Hiba,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I need to get this guy on the podcast because I've known you for. How long have I known you for?
Almost 2 years now.
Almost 2 years.
2 years. Let's say 2 years and a half. 2 years. Yeah.
2 years.
2 years.
Since we've been working in that stupid shitty job.
Sales. Sales.
No names, no naming of the company.
No, we are
But
not
that
going
that
to.
sales position,
But
man.
it's,
that's-
it's the kind of Wall Street kind of job, like
Trust me,
which
bro.
you do the
you know you said something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
You know that's the kind of dream or the pipe dream that they sell to those people working there. Wall Street, that you're gonna make money. If you work hard, you're gonna make money. If you make sales, we're gonna give you bonuses. You're gonna be promoted.
You
This
know,
and that.
in order to put myself in that position of doing sales,
Yes.
I had to watch that movie
Oh,
so
yeah.
that I get a little bit motivated
Me
to
too.
do the
Oh,
job.
man.
Yeah.
I was.
But
yes,
it's totally different.
different. Yes.
Like once you watch the movie,
yes.
you see that the man was doing sales and then he rocked it, got a lot of money, the beautiful everything, beautiful car, beautiful house, beautiful everything. And once you go to the reality, you see everything is totally different.
Completely different.
Completely
different. Have you watched the documentary of the real person?
Yes, I do.
Did you hear what he had to say about what he, like his opinion about the movie? When they asked him, they said, "Did you watch the movie?" And he said yes. And he said, "Was the movie a little bit more realistic to what happened in your real life?"
Uh-huh.
And he said some of it, but some of it were a little bit too cinematic.
And the part of it started enlightening which part is realistic and which part
Wasn't.
is not or was not realistic.
That
And
is
yeah,
true.
but I've watched him.
He's an interesting character. But I think Leonardo DiCaprio played a really good job. Did a
Come
good
on.
job.
That's one of the best actors.
They
like-
even made memes from that movie. You know, you know
man.
when he made that meme when he made that. You know,
Oh.
that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
So many parts of those movies went viral, especially the part of. You remember when we were doing that back there in the sales job? Oh, in the very early morning. Come on, let's start calling those
Yes,
motherfuckers, and we started. Oh.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, for the hold on, let me just. This is yeah. When I was doing, when I was actually starting my job in the morning, that feeling of knowing that you have to call so many people used to make me feel sick. Was it just me? Was it?
All of us. You know what I had to do every morning is that I wake up at 7 and I had to take that cold shower to put myself in that mindset of, hard working, be optimistic, trying to make some positive calls, trying to get some warm leads and book some meetings. Like,
God knows I haven't
the
heard
thing
that
for
word,
me is
leads.
the thing for me is that it was my first sales, and I had to lie for sure to get the job, and it was actually my first job to do sales.
Oh,
And I hated
I
it.
remember you said that.
I
Even when
hated
we
it.
were in training, you said, guys,
I hated
come
it.
from a teaching background. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm not into this sales, but because I have done so many sales before, even in the UK as well. I know it's a hypocritical job.
It is.
It is something that gets you immersed in hypocrisy. Every day you dip in your hand in hypocrisy. Every day. But then again, at the same time, there was a bit of difference when it comes to sales job in the UK and sales job in Morocco.
In all levels, by the way, in all levels.
In all levels.
The way you work, the salary you get, and everything. And the other thing is, I took the job only to work with my friend.
Oh, with Aziz.
That's it.
Yeah.
I took the
Aziz
job.
was a
and-
nice guy, man.
Yeah, I was a very.
nice guy.
We were friends for
Aziz,
more than
you know what Aziz?
12
You know why it
years.
suits him?
Yeah.
Because he's a cold, collective, calm guy. He doesn't take things into heart.
No.
Aziz can actually witness. I'm sorry to say that, Aziz, if he's watching.
You might be watching this one. Or
If
should.
he can probably watch a murder and then go home and be like, what we having for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
It's
He's
like-
very cold when it comes
he's
to
calm.
dealing with that in a
But
serious
with me,
way.
I'm like, why that guy? Why did he swear? By the way, do you remember Limited?
Oh man, my worst call ever. And that was an evidence for everyone that this is
Man,
my
we all listened
first.
to that conversation.
Yeah, this is my first.
But honestly, brother,
call.
wallah, give me thumbs up here. You were the guy that used to make us laugh. You were that
Limited?
guy.
What do you mean limited?
What do you mean
And
limited?
he started explaining what limited means, and I said, "Oh yeah, we are limited. We are
Right.
limited." Yeah, I panicked. He said limited.
It's your
limited.
first listen, brother. It's your first sales job. It's your first sales job,
It
and
was
you're
my
talking
first.
to people that you've never known.
Yeah.
You've never known in your whole entire life. So what do you expect? You expect them to just, to just understand exactly what they're on. You know what I mean? It's completely. You haven't even broke the ice with that person in order for you to sell something to him.
You know why?
And you
Because
straight into the sales speech.
for me as a teacher, I used to deal with, like, Americans more, especially when they come to the faculty. You get
Yeah.
to sit with them, you get to meet, you get to discuss so many things, and so the culture for me, I feel like the American culture for me is near. Like
no.
if I were to work in the American side, I would have rocked it. Break the ice with those British people is difficult, and you're going to prove me either right or wrong.
Yeah.
Like to just put them in a call with you, start talking with
The
them.
number one thing
about-
the number one thing that you will have as a problem is the accent.
Yes,
Even if
Yes.
you are in England,
for sure.
brother. If a Scottish man can have problems selling to an Englishman because of his accent, and they're both from the UK, right?
Yes, yeah.
An Irish man can have problems selling to an Englishman, and back and forth as well. Like an Englishman will have problems selling to an Irish guy in Ireland. They'll be like, "Well, you're English, we don't trust you."
Even in Britain, there are some places. You know the video that went viral about the Sadio Mane is the best player in the world.
Sadio Mane, yeah.
That was which accents? Which part?
Liverpool, that's Scouse.
So
That's-
listen, all
That's
of them.
my sister's accent.
Is the best player in the world.
I'm just tired of it, man.
We
You know
love
what I mean?
it. So yeah, we used to come across that people that sound like that guy.
Have
And
you ever
other
spoke-
people-
I actually love Scouse accent. I actually get on with them better.
Yeah.
Because those are the humble people. In Morocco, what we call شعبيين.
Uh-huh.
But you have to. That's the point. That's the point that I was. Second point I'm trying to make is you have to understand this sense of humor. If you don't
Yes.
understand this sense of humor, you're not gonna sell him anything.
Yeah,
Even if you speak like the Queen. This is a good spot.
Thank
well,
you
we
very much
normally-
for reaching out, brother. It's been a
The
long
mic
time
is
now.
here. You can speak to the mic in here.
Yeah,
But,
it's beautiful.
The subject that I wanted to talk to you about, since you are an English teacher and I am an English teacher as well,
Yeah.
is education in Morocco. We have noticed that Morocco has now, I don't know if you heard about this, but I've read this article where Morocco is actually putting hand in hand with the British Council, helping them crossing over from French to English. And as you can imagine, as you can imagine as an English teacher, English as a language can be a bridge, or can be the key to escape the bad matrix.
Yes.
You know the matrix, you know that. The bad matrix that we have in Morocco, those social day-to-day problem that we face, like not respecting the queue, throwing rubbish, because English can bring that beautiful culture as much as it can bring bad culture from the TikTok dancing and all of that stupidness. But we can also look at English as something that as a bridge that's going to cross us over into improving our social day-to-day basis. Do you notice this in your students, within your students, or do you notice that English has some sort of good and bad effects on the youth nowadays?
The thing with learning English is that most of my students, I would say about 70 to 80% of my students, were able to communicate and talk fluently in English. That's because of the era of social media now, and everybody started learning English at an early age, which is a positive thing, by the way. Talking about the English in our educational system that the government started long time ago,
Yes.
as you say, putting hand in hand with the British Council, to enhance the and make the learning process somehow effective for the upcoming generations, so that they facilitate, of course, because we are talking about the importance of English. Once you get your baccalaureate, then you have so many doors that might open up to you with a good English input, which is a good thing, by the way, because most people, they reach out to me once they started studying there, for example, master's degree or even PhD degree, that English now is a must, because there is a subject that contains so many scientific terms in which I need to explain and talk and have a presentation only in English.
Anything that you want to search
Yeah.
scientifical on the internet, you're gonna come across it in an English language. Any article,
Okay.
anything. If you want to learn just about gravity,
Whatever, brother.
gravity
whatever.
now is gonna be in English.
Whatever.
French.
It's a lingua franca. It's
French.
a lingua franca.
Yeah, French is not. It's not the language of science anymore.
You know, I heard a very beautiful.
I said French and you smiled, didn't
You know why?
'Cause I
Because there is a saying that which just
Yeah.
dropped into my mind
Yeah.
that says, speak French and you visit only French. Speak English and you visit the world.
Brother, I have this. Look, wallahi, I love this. You see what you just say? I love
Yeah.
it. But I have this one. Is harsher than. I am. First of all, I'm sorry for the French teachers, and I'm sorry for anyone that love French. I'm going to say this. I'm really sorry. No disrespect. I didn't say this.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, last time I was chatting to him in the UK, and he said to me, he said, if Europe was a house, or an apartment or a flat or whatever, a house, then England will be the sitting room and France will be the toilet.
I sense that you're going to
I was
say
like-
something about.
I was like, brother, don't say that in my country, because you got people that speak French and they. But to be honest with you, I have noticed that French is getting slowly but surely getting kicked out of Morocco. By the way, this is actually already practically happened. France has already been kicked out from African countries.
Most of the African countries, yeah. For
They're
sure.
kicking them out.
Yes.
They're like, no. They actually embracing Chinese, investing, embracing everything. They're like, we've had enough of you.
Yeah.
But that's not near here or there. I'm talking about the language. It's not French is not the bridge like the English. It's not that bridge that's gonna get you into learning science, into opening the doors for you, whether you are a plumber, electrician, athlete, footballer. If you go to another, for example, as a footballer, if you go into another team, they're gonna have to use English,
Yeah,
even if you play in Spain.
It's a lingua franca that gathers everybody, and
Yes, I want.
you come from Brazil and I come from Japan. We met in, let's say, Chelsea or whatever. We speak English.
English,
Or
yeah.
whatever team we go to in
English,
Europe.
yeah.
The thing with the language, the problem is not just with the language. It's with the culture. Those, like, it's because of I forgot the term, but France used to colonize so many countries in Africa.
Yeah.
Then those generations, once they grow up, they learn about the history and they start taking a very bad or negative look at the French language.
Yes.
And then, on the other hand, once they go to, they find another language which opens up so many doors. When, in whatever aspects, like economically, educationally, in whatever,
But so is
tourism,
British.
whatever.
So is British. The British has also colonized many countries, but the only advantage that they have is their language end up being an international one. You see, I mean, and not only that, all the science now is being taught in English, and which brings me to my point that we basically started at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now, maths and physics and science in the educational system is going to be taught in English in the future, and for those ones that hasn't grasped English just yet, when the shift is over, they're gonna have problems, especially with uni. That's why I was asking you about your students. Are your students embracing English?
Bro, we are even struggling because when you say English, private schools focus on teaching English starting from kindergarten.
The same in my school
It's
as well.
the age. It's the age in which they start. Now here we have two things. We have
They call it
primary, we have-
maternelle in here.
Yes,
Which
we
is
have
kindergarten, yeah.
public schools and we have private schools. When you say the government is hand in hand with the British Council, here we're talking about applying the English language in a very early age in the public school, because private sector is not a problem here.
Yeah.
It's the public sector. We are even struggling
Public,
to
yes.
teach English as a language, let alone teaching maths and physics and other
That's-
scientific subjects
That's
in,
my
in
point.
English.
How
And here,
how is it?
they
How is
are
it in
going-
your school?
they
Is
are-
it, are you do you find, and I'm gonna rephrase my question.
Alright.
Do you find that the student that they learn in English now, supposing, because in the article that I've read last time, the Moroccan government, if I'm correct, which I'm actually, the Moroccan government is actually making some serious good moves, because they notice, you know, especially in this country, you'll have a lot of this population say the government.
Wherever you go.
Sometimes in every.
Wherever you
But if you look in this move, the government is making a really good move because they recognize that French is not eating bread nowadays. So we need to do. But the point I'm making, they've been talking about a 4 years plan. So is that too short?
I've heard this for more than 4
I
years
think it's
now,
too
and I
short.
havented seen any change.
Any change,
I will
yeah.
tell you
That's
why
why I
it's too
wanted
short.
to
I will
ask,
tell you
yeah.
why it's too short. Here
It's too short.
in the public
Yeah.
sector, we start studying English at the last phase of middle school, 9th grade, and you have only four years to study English. Then you get your higher degree, which is a baccalaureate, and it's not enough. And in order to be able to teach English starting from either primary school or even 7th grade, you need to deconstruct everything and build up new curriculums from scratch. Because why? I'll tell
Bro,
you
you
why.
know, you made a very good point. You see, you just said now. You need deconstruct everything.
Yes,
And it starts including new
Literally.
new subjects in the English language.
literally. Let me
Brother,
tell
you know
why.
what I'm teaching this year?
Yeah,
Maths.
in English. That's,
Brother, I am already doing it. Just from me.
That's-
It's not in the
it's
curriculum.
voluntarily.
It's not. Basically, I'm just teaching them the sums, multiplication, minus, what is equal,
I have
divided.
taught,
Yes.
I have taught,
But it's
I
not.
have taught maths in English. I have taught maths in English when I was teaching the primary levels, especially 2nd grade. But it took me only, let's say,
But you can't
50
dwell.
minutes a
But you
week.
can't dwell
It's
too much.
It's voluntarily, yeah.
But you can't dwell too
You
much.
cannot. You cannot.
I mean, you
teach
can
just
only. Yeah,
numbers.
you just it's
Sub,
scratching.
multiplication, addition,
So you think-
subtraction. That's it.
So you think it's not enough time?
It's not enough.
I
It's
thought
not
the same.
enough.
Wallahi, I thought the
What-
same.
Okay, I
Yeah.
have a question. What
Yeah.
you as a government, what have you invested on
Hmm.
the staff in order to be able to teach just English as a subject, let alone maths, physics, and everything? You are even struggling because here we have what we call French option when you are in high school, which means you study maths, you study physics, everything in French.
Yes.
Once you get your baccalaureate, you want to pursue, let's say for example, you want to be a French teacher. You go to a university,
Yeah.
you'll find the teachers, they teach maths in French. If you get your license, you go to the a private school in order to be a maths teacher, or you go to the public school in order to be a maths teacher, you're going to find the exams and everything in French, not in English. So you as a government, which wants to change everything into, let's say, language to,
From-
English
yeah,
language to be
yeah.
to be a way to teach this. What have you invested? What have you taught? Where is the budget you put in order to form and train those
What do you-
teachers?
Okay, let's say. All right, let's play a scenario here.
All right.
Me and you, we said, all right, we're gonna do. Here is the. What would you think, like, as an English teacher, in order for look, I'm gonna make the question simple. In order for your students to be able to understand maths in English and physics and science in 4 years, what will you do in 4 years from now? Like how year one, what would you do? Year two,
first-
year three, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
hey, let's focus here more on public sector, because private
No,
sector is
forget
not-
that. Private sectors, it's all about, they can enforce it anytime because they all have to follow the public. So, for example, if the government said, listen, we are in 2025, right? They said in 2030, the baccalaureate is going to be in taught, and all the college is going to be taught, all the science matters is going to be taught in English. So they put 5 years. So the private sector, they're going to be like, huh? Wait just a minute. You, primary teachers, start teaching English. Here is this, here is this, here is that. But in public, what would they do? From primary.
It's a very tough question.
Because you have generation
need to-
after generation coming
Alright,
up.
Let me tell you now. You're going to jump to do one of the hell jumps from teaching English as an official subject,
Yes.
starting from 9th grade, jump straight to the, let's say, 1st grade or 2nd grade. You see how that's a,
Big jump.
you're going to deconstruct
So
everything,
it's
brother.
a big problem.
Yeah, you as a 9th grade student, you start studying English in 9th grade, and all the things that you study is numbers,
I think the way
months
to-
of the year, and everything.
I think the way to do it is to calculate how many classes there are from CM1 all the way to the back. How many classes? How many levels are there?
12.
12.
12.
So
yeah.
you need 12 years, and
You
you're
need-
gonna have to start teaching English.
And there might be a generation which
From
might be
primary.
caught in the middle of those 12
yeah,
years.
those are the unlucky one.
Yeah. What are you going
Those
to do
are
to
what we
those?
call the victim of the process.
And you cannot jump
You know
straight
what I
away
mean?
because you
Yeah.
need to jump gradually. You want to start English in primary first. You need to step down to 7th grade, and then next year 6th grade, and then next year 5th grade. You
grade,
cannot just out of the blue here go to the primary sectors 1st grade teach English, and even French. They start teaching French in the second grade, not the 1st grade.
But you know, last time I had this podcast, I don't know if you watched the podcast,
I've
me and
watched
Yunus.
all your podcasts,
yeah,
brother.
the one I had with Yunus, because he lives in Rabat, he claimed that, I haven't seen it, but he said that like certain, I told him to actually send me a picture, but he didn't. But he claimed that certain places in Rabat, they've already changed the signs from French to English. So for example, instead of saying sortie, they put in exit.
Yes,
So Morocco
yeah.
is already changing infrastructure.
Not just in English and Amazigh.
I know,
Definite letters.
I've seen it.
So they have.
I have seen it even in Barshid.
They are deconstructing everything in both languages.
No, but I'm saying because Amazigh is a local language.
It is.
But as a foreign first language, is English replacing French?
Yes.
It is.
Yes,
it is replacing French.
Yeah. Once you go to hospitals, you go to airports, you'd find signs in English, not in.
In English, yeah.
they're changing
French
things
is
to
actually
French.
starting to fade away slowly.
And even have you know those people in Morocco that like, both parents work and then they send their kids to La Mission, and French is only is the language
I
which is
swear to
spoken.
God, I was going to. Where is you know all these La Mission schools? When let's say 10 years from now, when Morocco cross over, where are they going to stand up?
And you know what? I have
All
taken-
these French directors that come here and get so much money from the Moroccans, and actually the subscriptions are so high because we are La Mission school. Where are they going to exist?
I have taken a look to their English curriculums, and brother, they teach like those very
Brother,
basic
can I tell you something?
sort of-
I know teachers that work there. You know what they told us?
Yeah.
Their English inspector is a French teacher. And you know, he said he said to them that you have to go hand in hand with the French teacher. Whatever the French teacher teach,
Yes.
go and translate it in English.
They even have the same copybook. The same copybook in which you write French, you write English.
How can you
French,
teach English in French ways? It's not the same. It's not the same culture.
No idea. Let's come to the conclusion.
Yes.
You know, those people
Please
that
do.
both send their kids to La Mission and they speak only French when they are at home. You know what they told me when they went to, because they each 2 months or 3 months they go pay a visit to European countries. You know, French doesn't help them at all. Once they go there, you know who helps them communicate? Those small kids that I tutor, and they go to La Mission and they speak
English.
English.
Yeah. Same.
Why?
Same,
Because
I've
their
noticed that.
background is just in English. Like once you go to Spain or England, to wherever you go in Europe, if you do not speak English, we're not talking about France. If you do not speak English, you cannot help yourself there, brother. You're
can't.
going to start using your gestures to explain like a bottle of water or something in another language, or using sign languages. It's difficult. I've
It is
tutored
difficult.
some people that are 65, 45, 50s. They want to learn English. I ask them why. They tell me English is
The future.
a future.
You
When
know,
I go
in
to
my-
Europe,
Yeah.
I go to Europe
Exactly.
2 times or 3 times a year.
Exactly.
And I speak French fluently. But those people do not speak French. The
They don't.
Spanish people, they understand a little bit of
English.
English. But once you start speaking French with them, they're not going to look at you.
Yeah, they're like, what the hell? This is not. I'm
Yeah.
not interested. But even in my school, we last year we organized a trip to London, and our students actually met with Spanish students that came from Spain for another school trip to England, and they spoke to them in English. Both of them are English students.
Let me tell you something. I'm
It's-
sorry to
yeah,
I'm
go
sorry
on.
to interrupt you. You know, when I interviewed Hiba in my last podcast,
Yes.
she told me that the Moroccans were very, very fluent when it comes to speaking English compared to Spanish people, Chinese people, because they met there. Chinese people, Japanese, or whatever country which they just met there. English is spoken fluently by Moroccans more than others.
In England.
Yes. No, I'm talking about
Ah.
those group that met there, because
Oh yes, yes.
there were so many trips organized by different countries.
That was my first question.
So I
How
would
was your
say
interest?
Moroccans. I would say Moroccans.
But that's why I asked you. How was
Speaking
your
English
interest? Like how is the interest of English language in your school when it comes to students? Like for example, one in my school, not giving myself credit, but since I jumped into that school and took over that job, now I've noticed that the students are speaking English in the corridors.
That's good.
So instead of saying merci, they say shukran, they say thank you, sorry.
The same
Hey
for me.
you! And then when they call each other, hey you!
Yeah.
Teacher, good morning! So before, they used to come and say, Sabah al khair, Ustad, bonjour. But they speak to French teachers like that, an Arabic teacher, muallimati, but in the corridor between themselves. They start showing off their grammar. They're actually starting to show off their grammar between each other.
That's happening in most schools, especially mine.
Yes.
And I will tell you the difference here. For me, as a high school teacher,
Yes, go on.
students, there isn't much to build compared to teaching primary levels, because
Yeah.
teaching primary levels, they still have 6 years or 7 years to cover English in their levels once they are in 6th grade, 7th grade. For me as a high school teacher, some students have only 2 years left to study English, some only 1 year, some only so it's different. But as I told you in the beginning, 80% of those students were able to communicate and talk in English
In English,
effectively,
yeah.
whether they are in social media, because from time to time you get to spy on the students you have, what they post in social media, the way they talk to
Yes.
each other.
Yeah.
I sometimes teach in
There
class.
is a bad, as much as there is some good advantage from learning English, there's some bad advantages when it comes to social media. Because sometimes, this is the stuff that we would like to combat and actually fight in Morocco, is using English as a bridge to learn some good stuff. Not just learning hip hop, trouser down, earrings, tattoos, from TikTok videos and dancing and all of that.
Culture,
All that. We wanna use English as something that's going to help us escape the bad matrix in Morocco. I keep saying the matrix. I hope people understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The bad social day-to-day stuff. Like when we say European countries or Anglophone countries that speak English are very much advanced than us. They're advanced because of their social day-to-day basis. If you go outside, you get good customer service. You drive outside, there is a good driving. There's people respect good driving because the people respect the driving rules, the signs, and everything. When you go as a teacher, this is another subject I wanted to. When you go out there and do your job, you actually take pride on your job. It's something that we need to actually learn from. Using English language, because by understanding English, we understand how they do it.
Yes,
You
it's
see
a
what I mean?
culture. You will.
But at the same time, this language can be used. I don't know if you noticed this, but have you noticed, like in Instagram, on social media, you get all these new Moroccans that are teaching English with the American slang language.
Yes.
Don't say ما تبقاش تقول كيف حالك. Say what's up, man.
Yeah. they think if they
And
change.
if you wanna pick لو بغيت تضرب مع شي واحد, we wanna pick a fight, they said, you want a piece of me?
Yeah,
you want
yeah,
a piece of me?
I've watched that, man.
Bro, have
It
you
was
seen
crazy.
those ones?
I've
Brother,
seen him.
let me talk to these guys right here, brother.
Alright.
Listen. You guys are teaching our people bad language. Alright? Let me go there. Teaching bad language. You guys need to stop listening to those guys over there. They're gonna you're gonna end up like those criminals in America and in England. It's almost like coming to England here, yeah? Coming to Morocco, and if instead of teaching people how are you doing, mate? Are you okay? What's that? Yeah. So I can go and say, guys, don't say how are you. Say wagwan fam. What are you telling me, cuz?
Yeah.
Your man's got peas in that cuz. You get me? You know what I mean? So
I've watched them, and
brother, you know those guys. I'm trying, and you know how many times I comment, brother. You know how many times I comment on there, right? It's almost like pouring water in the sand. It's like,
I see.
and they're getting so much views.
Yes.
So many followers. But because guys, please don't listen to those guys. Learn proper English. That's going to open. That's going to open the gates for you. Those guys are not going to cheat. You know, the people who speak those kind of language are not doing very well in those countries.
and
Being to America.
when we say,
I am British, and I'm telling you, it's not the way.
but the thing is, when we say speak English, what's up, man? How is it? Don't say thank you. Instead, say this. Don't say how are you. Instead, say, this is only a 2 seconds conversation with people. We need a solid language. We need.
Can you imagine speaking like that on those sales positions that we're talking about? You know, when you talk, what's up, man? You know, man's trying to sell something to you. You get me, cuz?
Yeah,
man. No, man, it's not bumping you. We're not trying to.
I don't
think a fast one on you.
I don't think it might last for 3 seconds.
Brother, the guy's gonna be like, sorry, mate. Beep, beep, beep.
That's not a language, man. Brother, that's just a way.
They going mad. They going like viral on those.
And
on those
only
guys.
Only the beginners and 10-year or 12-year-old kids that watch those videos, like people that really know what English is and how a language should be spoken, do not watch those videos. Don't. Of course. Come on, you're saying that once I say to, or once I talk to someone in this way, what's up, man, how you doing? This is only 3 seconds English.
It's not,
we need a 10-minute, 12 hours speaking English with people. We don't need 3 seconds or 5 seconds speaking with people. We need wide vocabularies. We need different topics to talk about, different ways to deliver a message. This is not even a language.
But also, you need to be eloquent. The word that you're looking for is eloquency. You have to be eloquent. So there's certain, like I'm sure you come across some documentaries and you just how eloquent he is on his English. You're like, you just listen.
Enjoy listening.
You're like, oh wow, look at the choices of his word.
The beauty.
It's like there's a mastery of English.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the way he composed, and he's composing the sentence and he's bringing the idea
and
to me.
And it rhymes. Everything they say rhymes.
These guys are, they're without because it's getting dark.
Yeah.
But I know you are a married man. You need to be at home
Yes,
very soon.
brother,
Yeah, I
yes,
know.
yeah.
Another thing, Morocco is classified. I've learned this just lately. It's classified as 215 in education in the world. What do you think that is? I'm a teacher.
When we say
And you're a teacher.
yes,
I want to talk about other teachers. You've seen how other teachers work around you. You look around the French teacher, you look around the English teacher, the math teacher, you hear the student complaining about this teacher. I believe that sometimes, this is my point before I'll give you the platform. My point is, I believe that the whole source of it, the major problem is teachers are not taking pride at their job. Is that correct or not?
I might agree
Yes. Or might
with
not.
you
Yes.
and disagree on the other hand.
Please enforce.
When
your-
talking about
yes.
classify, Morocco is classified to be, let's say, 2,000 or 200, whatever.
215.
They focus here more on higher education because it's the thing they focus on in order to see whether or
Well, that's
not
the end
country.
product.
Yes, that's the thing. When
What-
talking about
so the-
primary, middle, or high school,
So education.
it
in
differs
general,
from
yes.
one place to another. But here the focus is on higher education more. So I would confirm that yes, the quality of education they receive in higher education is very, very bad. Talking about primary, middle school, and high school, it's somehow good.
In Morocco.
In Morocco,
Okay,
it is good. It is better here. I would confirm you because once our students get their baccalaureate here in Morocco, they get their baccalaureate at age of 17. And if they want to go abroad, they need to study an extra year because in maybe in Spain or Germany they get their backs when they turn 18. In Morocco is 17. So in Morocco, let's say below high school, they receive somehow good education. When it comes to higher education, this is a terrible education one could receive from.
So you
university
reckon
level.
like from primary all the way to kind of college-ish?
It's good.
It's good.
It's good, brother. It's good.
But to be honest with you, I still feel like certain teachers are not taking pride in their jobs. I'll give you an example. Like there's certain teachers, they just don't give 100%.
There are so many. I'm sorry to interrupt. There
Yeah.
are so many reasons behind why
Salary?
teachers do not. One of which is salary.
Salary, yeah.
The second one is how can you take pride as a teacher when a government sends, let's say, police officers and an army to beat you up once you start
Inspectors
contesting for,
and go and
once
give you a
start-
headache and
once you
stress
start-
you.
Sorry, man.
Go on.
Once you start, I forgot to turn off my wife. Once
I
you
told
start,
you
No,
we're
it's
gonna
not-
have to go.
It's not my wife. It's a broker is calling me to see the house. And
Uh-huh.
so here, how come you as a teacher take pride when you fight to build everything from scratch? You work and you give your 100%. On the other hand, a government sends, let's say, police officers to beat you up because you start contesting.
Oh, you're talking about the
CO.
protests and all of that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you cannot give your 100% on the other hand, and everybody starts mocking you.
But that's the public sector.
Including the
Yeah,
government,
yeah.
the people. They start telling and giving jokes about your job as an English teacher, like you being stingy. You, for example, a group of teachers go into a cafe. They ask for. Let me do this. I'm sorry, brother.
Yes, go on. No.
Let me do this. Let me do this. So how can you as a teacher take pride and build a very good reputation, and on the other hand everybody start demolishing and saying somehow negative things about the job you give? So you cannot. So here on the other side, I might do 100%. I might make so many efforts voluntarily, whether I get paid or not. But because I love my job, I'm going to do it this way, and it's because I'm sharing knowledge. This is good between me and the students, between me and God. It's good on the other hand. But here, we need to get some gratitude from the government.
Yes.
Respect teachers, give them good salaries, give them good immune systems. Like you as a government should protect. If you don't protect
I
your
had
teachers,
another discussion with another teacher, and I do agree with you, but I had another discussion with the with a discussion with another teacher. Her name is Aya. I think you've seen her pod.
Yes, I've seen it.
She said yes, you're right. But the moment that you accept to take over and you accept the job, and you take it over, you're responsible. For example, certain teachers, they don't negotiate their salary. There's like 2,000 dirham. Yeah, okay, yes. They're what we call yes man.
That's another topic
Yeah,
to discuss.
that's another topic.
Yeah, it's another.
So,
you're driving
and then
us
what
to
they
another
do is they take it out on the students by lowering the quality. Now, if you are strong enough, or have the balls, if you grow some balls and you say, no, sorry, I am going to deliver some good quality here, I'm going to give my all, you need to pay me the same. But because people are accepting certain bad conditions, that now they're taking out on the student, they just sit down, like, yeah, write the homework, sit down, get out, next class.
Agree with you.
So that's
agree
the
with
issue.
you 100%. I've had some experiences with such people. Like
Salaries,
they accept whatever they offer them.
It's bad.
Whatever they offer them. Once I took a job and they did not. We didn't negotiate the salary. They tell me teach for a month, then we'd see the quality, then we'd offer a salary. I said no problem. I went for 2 weeks, and then they handed me an envelope because of the last month. We didn't teach the last month, but they handed me an envelope. After Corona,
Yes.
we were supposed to teach. Started from September, but everything got delayed up to October. So they had me an envelope of the month we didn't teach, and then I found 4,000, and I went to the administration and told them we didn't even negotiate the salary, and you're giving me 4,000. And then she said, no, because the teacher in which you took her position was taking only 4,000, and now it's just because she went to America and some stuff like that. So I told her I cannot accept the salary because we didn't negotiate. You didn't give me the courtesy to give my number. Just me. That's what we need to offer. I told her I'm going to finish this month, and I'll disappear. And luckily I didn't finish even the week, and then I disappeared.
Oh, you left?
Of course I left, brother. And I worked there for, let's say, 10 days. And the kids started shouting, no, we need that teacher back. And they called me back, and I asked a higher salary compared to the one I asked before.
That's
to take my revenge, because I know that we didn't.
If they don't have the budget, then you should tell the parents, look, we don't have the budget. But they don't have the balls, so actually they can't. But if they have the budget, which most likely they do, and they start being stingy about paying the teachers, then this is what actually contributes into bad low education.
Those people are vampires, brother. They're vampires. Like they do not leave the parents in good peace. Like they take all their money. On the other hand, to give to teachers what they deserve, they give them just a small pie.
That's fraction.
It. Yes, that's it. That's
fraction.
Take your part, and then you do whatever we ask, but you don't get to ask to take or give a high salary. You do the job, an extra job, and you are here wherever we call you. You do activities and everything, but this is the amount of money you're getting, and you don't get to ask for more.
Thank you.
And the thing is, people accept and they say yes.
They accept it. Yeah.
They're afraid, brother, to go and look for other opportunities elsewhere. And there are other places that pay good money. But the thing is, everybody's afraid to lose a job.
Their position.
And go.
Yeah. That's another.
It sucks, brother.
I don't want to take you too long because you're a married man. I need to drive.
Yeah, brother, thank you.
Brother,
very
thank you
much,
very much for coming in.
That was very good talk
honestly,
to you.
we always had time against us. We always have time against us because this is life. It's all about, it's like a judo. You catch it from man, you catch it from man, and so forth, and so on. But inshallah, in the future, this is an outdoor podcast. But in the future, I need you to come in, and we're gonna discuss some certain things, some other subject that we're gonna make time for.
For sure, brother.
And not only that, I would like to invite you to my school.
I would be honored.
Meet my students. We will have some podcasts and interviews.
I would be honored. Miss teaching those primary.
Yeah, primary kids are completely different.
They're beautiful.
Thank you very much, guys, and hope to see you very soon. And anyone that would like to come and join us for a podcast, please do not hesitate to DM me, message me. The studio comes to you in this instant. We do indoor and outdoor. And again, thank you for coming to the Moroccan Social Matter.